Perfect. So, like I said, today I'm very excited because we're announcing our partnership with ESG Luxe. And without taking too much time, I would now like to introduce our panel members. So I'm going to start with Antoine Berthaud, who is the Dean of ESG Luxe. Hi, Antoine. How are you?
Hi. Nice to see you all, and thank you, Pranav, to having us today.
Wonderful. So I'll tell you guys a little bit about Antoine. So Antoine holds more than 10 plus years of experience in the luxury and the design industry. And he has brought in a lot of successful partnerships for the brands that he's worked with. And now that he's working with ESG Luxe. And apart from that, he also connects wonderfully well with students, and he's a watch lover. So he is, it's even interesting to see him be a part of the luxury industry because he's very active in the luxury industry as a consumer himself. After that, we have Mr. Azad, who is the global brand director of BALENCIAGA. Hi, Azad, how are you?
Hello, Pranav. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me. So excited.
Wonderful. So Azad, I will tell you a little more about Azad. He has more than 10 plus years of experience in global advertising and leading campaigns with some of the biggest known luxury and fashion brands in the world. He has successfully launched campaigns for brands like Burberry, brands like Balenciaga, brands like Pierre Moss, Maison Margiela. So he is doing a lot of great work. He's been doing a lot of great work, and he's going to be talking to you guys about his experience, along with giving you some information and ideas about the trends and the the luxury industry overall. Is Aparajit, one of our fellow Indian, I would say, nationals, but he is now settled in France full time. Hi, Aparajit, how are you?
Hey, hi everyone. How are you?
Wonderful.
Thanks, Pranav, for having us here.
So Aparajit has more than 14 years of experience in international marketing and communications. And his work experience spans wonderfully well because he has worked in various different countries such as the USA, the UK, France, of course, as well as India. So he has a lot of great insights and inputs, and he's brought in a lot of great client acquisitions for the brands that he's worked with, along with setting up some amazing distribution channels as well. So today, all four of us, we're going to be talking about what the vision about this particular partnership is, what ESG Luxe is all about. That will be giving us a insight about the luxury industry, and Aparajit will be giving us a great insight and a surprise about the Paris Project 2023 that we're going to be launching very, very soon as well. So I'm going to start the presentation now. And before I start to tell you guys about ESG Luxe, I would first want to tell you guys that why did we bring in this partnership, and what is the vision, and what is our particular vision at INSD, and how we look at this particular association going forward, right? So ESG Luxe is one of the premier schools for luxury and design in Paris, in France. Their campus is centrally located. So we felt that we needed to give our students that kind of exposure. We needed to give our students that kind of platform where they can actually go live and experience Paris, experience luxury design education in the heart of Paris, because this is where it all starts. This is where luxury begins. This is where it all began in the world. Along with that, the design industry. I mean, France is a country that we very well know is at the forefront of design. I mean, the biggest brands in the world, they come from France, right? So what is better than having one of the premier institutes located in Paris, in the country where design and luxury comes from, than to give our students that kind of exposure and that kind of platform where they can go, they can actually live there, they can study in their courses by their professors, by their teachers. And moving forward, we're going to be offering many more programs, such as diploma programs and degree programs in collaboration with ESG Luxe. So we're going to be having a very close-knit association. We're going to be having a very close-knit partnership with ESG Luxe. And I would like now for Antoine to, he's the Dean of ESG Luxe, to tell us more about the values, about the vision, and more about ESG Luxe in general. So Antoine.
Yes, thank you. You hear me?
Yes.
So thank you, Pranav, to introduce ESG Luxe, and you did it very well. Actually, we are very happy to launch that partnership because with Pranav we share the same vision of the luxury future and of all the opportunity the student will get with our partnership. The thing is, ESG Luxe is one of the best school on luxury industry in France. We are located on the center of Paris, so very near, very close to all the big brand we all know. So that's very interesting because we can develop some partnership with big brand. And I used to meet some CEO, manager, director of all that very famous brand, as Galeries Lafayette, for example. I got a meeting with them. Actually, I will get a lunch with them on Monday to increase that partnership. And we know that Place Vendôme is just it's very close at the school, and we are going to continue to develop all that partnership. For now, at this time, a lot of our students get some internships and get some experiences with our partner. We can talk about Yves Saint Laurent, we can talk about Louis Vuitton, we can talk about Hermès. All that companies work with us because they know the quality of our work, and they would like to give the opportunity to their people to get some teaching program in our school. So we are very happy to work with them, and of course I'm very happy to work with INSD in India. So just to show you all the brand we work with, we do that mock-up, but of course we can talk about more and more brands. The most famous of them is Louis Vuitton. And we start to work with them next week, I guess. To talk about the campus is just near Le Louvre, le Musée du Louvre, one of the most famous museums of the world. Actually, every year he got the best museum award of the world. So that's actually very interesting to be close this very the heart of Paris. And we can on the picture of some students, some classroom, and the building where you will get some lectures. So in my opinion, it's all the stuff is done, but I'm now on the building, so I can introduce you some rooms to show you the way of working of our students. So for example, I will show you this classroom. So you will get everything with TV, with the Panthéon just near, and the whiteboard, of course, for the teacher. So all the stuff is available for the students who decided to join us in Paris. So that's okay, Pranav. I think I introduced them everything of our school.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Antoine. And I think nothing is better than the students actually being able to see the campus live with their own eyes. So really, thanks a lot for taking the pain and the effort, making the effort to actually show them, the classrooms. And, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be loving it more when they're actually there in person, experiencing it themselves. But yes, thanks a lot for introducing ESG, and along with that, giving us a great idea about what to expect. And now I would like to introduce a very interesting story of Mr. Azad. So Azad, over to you, and we would love to hear about your inputs about everything that we just spoke of.
Thank you so much, Pranav. And it's good to see that the school is growing, Antoine. I'm very excited. I used to be at ESG when I was younger. So listen, I mean, thank you so much for having me. Exciting times. About my story. So as Pranav introduced me like so well, I've been in the industry of like global marketing and digital overall for like more than 10 years. And I've worked with like luxury brands such as like No Balenciaga, Burberry as well. What is, I think for me, like very important is all the travels that I've done, and I'm not getting younger. I've lived in Dubai for like 5 years. I lived in the US as well, working with all this like fabulous brand. And right now I'm in Paris, and so glad to be back. And the city is amazing. It's a fashion week right now, and it's like so bubbling and like so inspiring, like to see all these like designers and like fashion, like also like labels, like kind of like popping off. So I mean, I was always attracted to that industry, and seeing it like grow like that, it's kind of like very satisfying. And there's so much opportunities for young designers, for like people that want to grow into that space. And I think like being in Paris, as Pranav and Antoine said, is setting up for success in a way, because you're kind of like in the best place for grooming yourself like for the future, and kind of like learn from also like so many institutes and so many like talents and mentors that you can find in your way. So that's what happened to me a little bit. I used to work at Vogue in Paris. I'm sure everyone knows the magazine. It's been a good time when I was there. It was I think back in 2010, and I was still studying at ESG at that time. So and then I basically like started like doing my work into the strategy and marketing. So I think like one of the things that was really inspiring for me, and like what I've learned the most, is like working with like teams that are like truly like known in the space. So like when you work with like teams like at Maison Margiela or Balenciaga, for instance, it's been kind of like a way to learn about like all the different like trends and setting them up. And one of the trends that I've seen the most like lately, which was like the one that I had to learn about the most, is everything around like metaverse, digital, AI, and how I can create like this like fluid kind of like communication between like brands, but also between the design that you're trying to sell and between also the collections that you want to promote. So like working with like Burberry, for instance, when we launched like so many things like on Roblox, or when I'm like setting up the innovation roadmap for Burberry for 2023 with the new creative director like Daniel Lee, who joined from like Bottega Veneta. It's kind of exciting because you get to like work with the fashion teams, you kind of work with the creative teams, and you kind of also work with like everyone that has something to do with the communication and how you're going to present your brand and your design into the world, and how you do a fashion show. So like I've done fashion shows for like Balenciaga in New York, in Wall Street with the Adidas collaboration. And that was like one of the, I don't know, like how to say, like, I think we've been preparing this for like maybe like 3 months, and like seeing it like coming to life, it was kind of like an amazing moment. And I'm excited to see the one coming for Burberry on the 20th of February as well, because I'm actually like consulting also like for other brands in the same time. So it's kind of exciting to see those trends coming to life. One thing that I wanted to also highlight you about is like in terms of trends, it's like how you can feel about the kind of like rise of like fluid, like gender fluid fashion. I don't know if some of you heard that term before, but it's like how you see like menswear growing, but how you see like men also like wearing like clothes that are designed for women. And this trend is actually like going stronger and stronger. I don't know if some of you are familiar with a list, like a list index, LYST. It's basically the index that sets up the highest, like, like most hypes or most like desired brand in the world. And Balenciaga has been on the top for like 2 years in a row. Gucci has been there as well. And I think the next one would definitely be Louis Vuitton. Because and as Antoine said, the connection with ESG and Louis Vuitton is getting better and better. So this is an amazing opportunity for you to like get close to that brand. And if you haven't seen the show yesterday about Louis Vuitton and Kids Super autumn winter 2000 like 23, like just check it out, because Rosalia performance, it's amazing, but also like the design, the patterns, the color blocks, like the mix between art and fashion and luxury all together. It's kind of like where the I think the industry is going towards. And that plus also the gamification of everything that we do. So how you can like work with your UX designer, or you can work with your like pattern maker, or you can work with like the marketing team, like all of that coming together. It's what is going to set a brand for success for the years to come, and the strategy that will prevail among every other things. So, I mean, I have a lot of numbers and things to give you, like, but that would be for another time maybe, but I don't want to like, you know, take too much of everyone's time. But yeah, that's about me in general.
Thanks, that's super. Thanks a lot, Azad. I think I think what you mentioned, especially about the fact that now the industry is also equally shifting towards menswear, and I mean, I think we've seen specific menswear fashion weeks happening that are separate from the women's wear. I mean, just to give you an idea, even in India recently, what happened was the Fashion Design Council in India, they organized a menswear weekend where all the famous Indian fashion brands, the luxury brands in India, they presented collections only for men's, right? And this is the first time that this has ever happened. So now what's happening is that the fashion industry, the luxury, the design industry is kind of moving towards simplifying and diversifying themselves for different segments. Because before it was majorly female centric, female focused, but now it's also slowing towards being men centric and men focused as well. I think that's gonna lead to the growth of so many new brands, so many new startups as well, who are going to be working in the menswear segment. And I mean, I would just like to also add this point that even for our graphic design students, our interior design students, our UI UX students, our jewelry design students, what's now also happening is that the luxury industry is now inviting and engaging with many luxury brands who are being born in all of these different segments, right? We have seen the birth of a lot of luxury interior design houses. They're doing massive projects. They're working through Europe, they're working through East Asia, which is one of the key market, the Middle East as we know it, Dubai, Qatar, etc. They have billion-dollar projects. So there's a lot of growth that we are seeing in the luxury real estate interior game as well. And needless to say that graphic design and UI UX has gone to such heights and such levels thanks to the luxury brands that exist, because they're really promoting good design, they're really promoting aesthetic design now, and more students now have the opportunity to actually learn about these kinds of principles, these kinds of fundamentals, and really apply that to their practice, right? So I think there's a lot that is happening. And I think Paris being the starting point of almost everything when it comes to design and luxury, it's a really great opportunity for students to kind of, learn from faculties, learn from experts who actually are there in that industry, and then, apply those learnings, those principles into their work, right? Sorry to take extra time of yours, but I just wanted to, quickly add this personal anecdote of what I think is also happening parallelly as we talk about fashion brands, but also the other segments are being equally well catered to, and they're seeing a massive and amazing trajectory moving forward, right? So now I think what most students very eagerly are waiting for is the next announcement, which is going to be extremely interesting this time. Why? Because we're going to be focusing on different kinds of specializations. And in those specializations, Aparajit will also be telling you about how and what are you going to discover in what's coming up for this year. So Aparajit, over to you.
Thank you. That was great. Thanks Azad, Pranav, and also my friend Antoine. We as ESG Luxe, we as you now aware, we have quite a wide range of partnership and also experience, and we offer some specializations that are constantly changing, which is keeping up with the trends, because again, it's thanks to all our partners, and we get to hear from them in what's requirement for the current weather. or with the current conditions. So we offer specializations in marketing, sales management, focus just on luxury programs, luxury hotel managements, and within the luxury industry, that you see, we have different options there as well. So students have opportunity to choose precisely what they want to focus on, or where their interest lies. We also offer specializations in just jewelry, cosmetics, perfumes, and last but not the least, it's very important in recent times, is grooming and makeover. Because even big brands, yes, they do launch really cool designs, and they get them on the runway. But then even the internal news we hear is, it's all great when the brands put these people on the runway and it's all fine, but then when they see actual people wearing them in streets, it's not exactly what they envision as designers. So these grooming and makeovers things are now coming back. I would not say it's new, but it's coming back. So when you guys come here, visit Paris, what you would discover are few things. So first one, I want to get the thing out of your mind is, if you're imagining that you'd come here to Paris, sit in the classroom session for, let's say, 6 hours or 8 hours, no, that's not how we work. The one thing that will happen with that is just brain drain. You're not really learning, and you don't need to come to Paris for that. We can do just like this online. So you will discover, yes, you will have classroom sessions. You will have theoretical background on some fashion, merchandising, fashion, luxury, French wine taste, wine industry, and gastronomy, or luxury code, haute couture. But here's the thing: you will be visiting sites. You will be visiting luxury retail chains. I mean, flagship chains, not just any other chains, flagship stores. And you will visit wine cellars, wine caves. You'll have proper French galette or even dinner. We'll also take you, for example, places like Chateau de Versailles, the King's Apartments, because there's one thing about talking about luxury codes, but there's something completely different when you're experiencing and when you're getting your hands on what you've just been shared with. Because the people who come talk with you, even in the classroom sessions, are experts in their field. So we always bring professors who are up to date with what's happening around, and they are in those fields. And when they share knowledge with the students, it's not a massive gap between, oh, this was like 10 years ago. No, it's yesterday, or it's today. And you'll also be introduced with perfume. Pranav, if you could go one slide back, please, so I can also explain them a little on perfumes. You get a chance not just to learn about different ingredients and how perfumes are made, but you also get the opportunity to create your own perfume. And when you come back, you probably would, well, hopefully you still have it. So you can show maybe your parents or your family that the perfume you created with your thoughts and your ideas. And you'll have the grooming sessions, of course, visual arts, and also with jewelry making. So you will like what Antoine was mentioning, we'll take you and you'll visit Place Vendôme, covered passage of covered Parisian passages, and you will meet artisans or craftsmen and people who actually make. So essentially, it will be hands-on, and yes, you will have some theoretical background knowledge before you visit any of those stores or sites of craftsmen. Because one thing we want to make sure is when you go meet craftsmen or artisan, we call it here, or atelier workshops, when you ask questions, we want to make sure that when you ask questions, it's knowledgeable and precise questions. So we will let you aware of all the background information and how it goes on. So pretty much that's what you're gonna experience. Pranav, it's okay now. If you could move to the next slide, please. Thanks. Awesome. So when and along with this, you'll be gaining more knowledge on pretty much the European lifestyle. But when you'll see a massive difference, experience the lifestyle how we at least we used to be when we were much younger. Wish we can go back to those days. But yeah, and so it'll be very experiential time for you. It's not gonna be just classroom and then go back. No way that's happening. So that's the whole idea of what your with INSD, what and also with us, what we want to offer to you guys. So I'll hand over back to Pranav. Thank you. And if you have questions, just shoot.
Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Parijit. So I think our students and partners obviously have gotten a great insight about what to expect, and the variety and the diversity of programs, the diversity of specializations and activities that we're planning for them. I think is gonna give them a great overall insight of many different industries, and overall insight about what exactly to expect. And I mean, there's so many things that they can actually take back. And one thing I always tell all my students is that what you're learning in the classroom or what you're learning in your course is only, I would say, 20% of your overall learning, right? The real learning actually begins when you travel, when you start exploring, when you start seeing and observing and experiencing new things. And people usually say that you should never be a jack of all trades but a master of one. But I have a different approach, and I always say that you should be knowledgeable enough. So if you're ever standing in a group of people, or you're sitting in an interview, you should have so many topics, you should have so much knowledge that no matter what conversation, what topic is being talked about, you should be able to address, and you should be able to talk about that particular topic in whatever situation you're in, right? And this all comes from studying and learning about a variety of different subjects and a variety of different products. So I think this sounds amazing, and there's going to be so much more that's going to be coming for the students, because on the 25th of Jan is when we're going to be announcing all the details about the Paris project. So the students, whoever is, because I'm sure the students have so many questions right now in their minds. What are the dates? What is the pricing? What is included? Everything, because we've done this twice, and we've done extremely successful Paris projects in the past, and our students already have amazing experiences. But moving forward, we always aim and wish to make this experience for our students much better and much stronger in terms of what they learn and what they experience. So guys, this is to all the students and the partners, that hang tight, and we're going to be sharing all the information with you by the 25th of January, which will include everything that I just said, right? The dates, travels, etc. Everything will be a part of the information that will be shared with you. So now, we're coming close to the end of our webinar. So I would just like to extend a thank you to all of our panelists. Thank you, Antoine, Azad, Parijit, for coming, for being a part of this webinar, for, sharing your time with partners. So any last words that you guys would like to say to our students in the end?
I wish there was this program when I was younger. Like, where was it? No, it looks amazing. Like, honestly, thanks for having me.
Azad, if you want, you can join us for that program.
Yeah, maybe I need to know more about what I'm doing, right? Like everything, the luxury and all. I don't work enough. I don't work enough.
I do prefer that you will share all your knowledge to the students. I do prefer it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Welcome to Europe. I was, you know what,
Yes,
up until this morning, just before we kicked on the meeting, it was snowing heavily just outside. I thought, hey, I can actually show this to students, but then it stopped. Like, oh no.
It's actually snowing in Paris, right?
Yeah. It was snowing heavily last night. And I thought
okay,
this morning is going to be tough for me to take my car, but luckily it all went away, and now again it's snowing back. So it's actually nice, but just not snowing enough so I could show to the students. It will not come on the camera. That's the problem.
I think the best way to see something is to be there yourself, right? So
guys, come on over here. You'll have
go there and experience it all themselves. So great, guys. Again, thanks a lot, and thank you everyone who was a part of this for listening very carefully and learning about all that we're doing. Just as an ending note, I would like to say this, that with ESG Luxe, we're going to be strengthening the experience of learning, and we're going to be going different places. We're going to be taking experience in education to a next level with physical programs, with a lot of international diplomas. We're going to be doing a lot. So I would say hang tight and be available for when we're going to be doing all these announcements, because when we do these announcements, you're going to want to grab hold of them very, very quickly. So great. Thank you so much, everyone who was a part of this webinar. Thanks again, guys. And I hope to see you all very, very soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.